What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. So glad you guys are here. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Georgia Texas game, or Texas versus Georgia, however you want to look at it. Doesn't really matter. This game is going to be played 7:30 Saturday night, Sanford Stadium. Over under 50.1. Georgia's favored by 6.5. The line has moved a little bit. So, hey, take that for what it's worth. Why is my camera so, what's the word I'm looking for, dude? Wumpy jawed. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Jeez, dude. This thing's having a day. Having a day. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, let's get into it. Typically give people a few minutes to jump on, but it's Thursday night, and there's so much to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is just the kind of overall football schedule of Saturday. It is a great day for college football. If you're a college football fan and you don't like this lineup this week, something's wrong with you. Currently, Troy and Old Dominion are playing. I know nobody cares. It's okay. But tomorrow, we have a rare Friday night game, which I love to have college football on a Friday night. It's a really cool thing. Louisville is playing Clemson at Louisville. Now, you can get tickets for this game for $43. I never thought I would see a Clemson game for $43, but hey, take it what you can get it. It's at the L&N Federal Credit Union Buy Here, Pay Here Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. What a terrible name. Golly. They'll sell the rights to anything, man. Over under 51. Louisville's favored by 2.5. That is a really ugly line. That's a really ugly line. You're looking at you're looking at a game here where Louisville is ranked 20th. And by the way, Louisville has lost to Virginia. They beat Miami. Keep that in mind. And they lost to Cal last week somehow. They got to play Clemson, SMU, and Kentucky the rest of the season. And I mean, they could very well end the season 10-2. ACC is its own mess. We're not going to get into that tonight. We are going to talk about the Oregon Minnesota game, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time on Fox. $26 tickets if you happen to be in Eugene, Oregon. You can go to that game for pretty cheap. That's a great Friday night thing to do. Go to a college football game. I think on the West Coast it'll be like 6 p.m., so it'll be perfect. Let's see here. We got Saturday. We got Indiana versus Wisconsin, Texas A&M and South Carolina, and a Pitt Notre Dame at noon. Michigan, nobody's watching you. Don't worry about it. South Florida, somehow still in the top 25. Yeah, thanks, guy. Appreciate you being here. But you can go to the South Carolina Texas A&M game for the low price of $214. 50.5 points over and under. Texas A&M by 19.5. Guys, I'm going to tell you a secret here that nobody wants to hear. I don't know that I would be so fast to dismiss South Carolina by that amount. Yes, I know they are on a losing streak. Don't get me wrong. They're not having a great run here as of late. But, man, what a brutal damn schedule. They played LSU. I know LSU's not great. They were ranked 11 at the time. They played Oklahoma. Oklahoma was 14th. Played Alabama. Alabama was 4th. Played Ole Miss. Ole Miss was 7th. And now they're playing Texas A&M 3. I mean, that is just an absolutely hellish gauntlet. I wouldn't want to have to deal with that. Would not want to have to deal with that. It's terrible and embarrassing in there. But there's a part of me that's looking at this game going, something just don't smell right, dude. It just they're giving Texas A&M 19.5 points. So they feel like they can beat South Carolina by 20. Right? There's been only one team this season that's beat them by 20 points or more, and that was Vanderbilt. Nobody else has had 20 points or more. you can make an argument Texas A&M is better. I get that. But I can also point at Texas A&M's schedule and go, man, what a disaster. Not a very strong schedule, in my opinion. I think their hardest game of the season was Notre Dame. They edged that out with a 1-point win. Yeah, so there's that. Hey, what's up, Alex? Appreciate you being here, sir. He's our longest running resident member of the channel. If you want to join and support the channel, you can hit the join button down there and become a member. Only costs a few dollars to support the channel. Keep your boy a coffee. You want to buy me a coffee? It's easy to do. Just become a member. Yeah. So, all right. What else was there? There was some other stuff I wanted to talk about real quick before we kind of got into the meat and potatoes of the day. Let's see here. Where was it at? There it is. 3:30 game. Got a great lineup. I like to watch one game at noon, one game at 3:30, and then one game, night game. And then on a rare occasion, I will watch a late game. Fortunately, there's no late games I have to contend with this week because I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch Texas A&M, South Carolina. That's what I'm going to watch. I'll look at Notre Dame and Pitt every now and then, but whatever. Why tickets for Michigan versus Northwestern are $216? I don't know, but I guess they are. Yeah, there are tickets right now, guys. If you want to go to a college football game, depending on what state you're in, there's tickets available for $4 for Oregon State versus Tulsa. It's $4. LSU versus, and you say, oh, but it's Oregon versus Tulsa. Okay, fine. How about an SEC lineup of Arkansas versus LSU in Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, for $4? That's worth $4, man. I mean, you can't get a cup of coffee for $4. Why wouldn't you go to that? If I hate to say this, but if I was closer to Tuscaloosa, I would consider going to the Alabama-Oklahoma game. It's $41. I mean, it's cheaper than the tank of gas. That's worth going to. And it's 3:30. Oh, you can be out of there in time to get back home before all of them manage to get back to their trailer parks. So you can get out of there just fine. Texas Tech versus UCF. Don't know why that game is $63, but it is. I'm going to watch the Georgia Tech Boston College game at 3:30 as well. You want to talk about on a run of L's. Boston College has won one game at the beginning of the season, and it was 66-10, and they was riding high. And then Michigan State was 42-40. And then after that, it's just been full-blown disaster the whole time. This is a team so bad they even lost to Clemson. So I would keep my eyes out. I want to see how hyped up the Jackets get for beating Boston College. $7 for that game, by the way. Tennessee, yeah. Ohio State versus UCLA, and then we've got the highest charge ticket of the day, 7:30 p.m. Sanford Stadium at Dooley Field, Georgia, Texas. That's going to be the game of the day. I do hope Lucky is all right too, but I also hope I hope that young man is putting his health and safety first. I don't want him to just run out on the field because he feels like he has to be there to help the team. He probably does feel that way because that's just the kind of competitor that he is. But I mean, when you look at players like that, man, that's just the way they are. That's just the way they are. Those kids live for the game, and you can see it. Sorry, technical difficulties as usual. I should start calling them technical normalities. That's what I should do. There we go. So, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad game to go to either. It just wouldn't. So let's kind of start easing into this just a little bit. So when we start looking at these two teams and we look at their schedules, I mean, Georgia's done really well. Now they're not pounding every team into the sand here, but they've done pretty well. There have been some come from behind games or what have you, And some of their games are better than they look. Some games are worse than they look, right? So one of the games that's worse than it looks is the Florida game where Georgia won 24-20. Gunnar Stockton takes a knee, could have went to the end zone, would have made it 31-20. Didn't do that, right? Just takes the knee, closes the game out. Smart play. You take every bit of you take every bit of chance off the table. Don't say fumble the ball on a victory formation. That's just dumb. Don't even subject yourself to that. Onside kicks are a real thing. Fumbling the ball on a victory formation is not really a real thing. And let's be honest, an onside kick being recovered is way more likely than fumbling the ball on a victory formation kneel out. Okay, the Ole Miss game. That game was way better than it looked on paper. If you go back and look at the numbers, just watching Georgia play Ole Miss back and forth, showed a lot of heart by both teams. The Auburn game is actually worse than it looks. Georgia scored a touchdown there at the end to kind of put the game away, but it was 13-10. Man, just kind of a terrible performance overall. Kentucky is what it is. The Alabama loss, man, gonna get in my feelings here real quick and cry about this. Georgia could have easily won this game. Just could have kicked the 2 damn field goals. Georgia wins that game, 27-24, but we didn't. Alabama wins. They did the smart thing. They played well, and they got out of there. Georgia beating Tennessee in overtime. Man, that was a great game. The 45-7 over Marshall, that's Marshall not a great football team. I think they're going to go 50% this year, which is better than some of those group of 5 schools, but hey, 45-7 is a good win. Now we come up to Texas. Got to talk about Texas. Got to talk about their schedule. Not that, this. There we go. They lose at the beginning of the season to Ohio State. And Ohio State, which has proved to be a pretty good team all season, right? And this is, at the beginning of the season, it's really hard to judge a game or judge a team on one game, especially at the very beginning of the season. These kind of games can go either way. Ohio State found a way to win it. It was 14-7. I mean, either team could have won that game. I believe that was Arch Manning's real first start. And, man, that was tough. Ohio State, 38-7. UTEP, 27-10. Sam Houston, 55-0. Arch Manning looked really good. They had a really, really good game. And then what happened the next week? They go out and somehow lose to Florida. Week after that, they go out and they smash number 6 Oklahoma, 23-6. And Arch Manning didn't have a great game. Arch Manning threw for 166 yards in that game. It just didn't look good. And so when you watch that game, if you go back and you look at the stats of that game, he was 21 for 27, which is great percentage, but overall, just wasn't the phenom performance that you were looking for. You look at the rushing game. The rushing game, they only had 136 yards rushing. You're talking about a Texas Longhorn team that beat the Oklahoma Sooners. You ready for this? By only having 302 yards total. That was it. They didn't fumble the ball. They didn't throw any interceptions. But that coupled with Oklahoma couldn't run the ball. They ran for 1.6 yards a carry. They ran the ball 30 times. They threw the ball 21. They had 210 yards through the air. Couldn't do anything with it. That was just a kind of a crazy game. A lot of field goals, but not a lot of touchdowns. Then you get to Kentucky. Kentucky takes them to overtime, and they win by 3 points. Texas wins by 3 points, not Kentucky. They win with a field goal in overtime. By the way, Kentucky scored 10 points in the fourth quarter to tie it up. You go back, you look at this game. Arch Manning, 12 for 27, 132 yards. His QBR was 25 in this game. At no point during this season has Gunnar Stockton ever had anywhere near that level of quarterback play. that low. It's just terrible. Feel like UGA getting better, Bama kind of stalling. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. That may be the case. It does look like Georgia's on the upswing, and it looks like Bama's kind of plateauing, but you never know. Hard to underestimate a team with that much talent on it. It would not be wise to underestimate a team with that much talent on it. We'll say it like that. But you go back to the Kentucky game. Texas only ran the ball for 47 yards. Wow. The same Georgia team blew out Kentucky 35-14. Now, you're going to say, but Big Dog, transitive properties don't apply. I hear you. But here's the thing we do need to talk about. When you have three teams that both teams have played, I think you can make some inferences. They lost to Florida. Georgia beat Florida. They beat Kentucky in overtime with a field goal. They scored a grand total of 13 points. And they had to go to overtime to beat Mississippi State. Georgia crushed Mississippi State. And it's not like they played Mississippi State 4 weeks ago. They played Mississippi State October 25th. Georgia played Mississippi State November 8th. So relatively close. Back to the Kentucky Longhorns game. Texas rushed for 47 yards total on 28 rushes, 1.7 yards a carry. Absolutely abysmal. Texas receiving 132 yards on 12 passes, completions. They had 27 attempts passing, 28 times running the ball. Very balanced, but that's 55 snaps in a game. Kentucky had 77. Kentucky's receiving 258 yards through the air, 8.3 yards a pass. Answer me this. Who's got a better passing game, Georgia or Kentucky? I'll save you the trouble. You know who it is, the Dogs. Kentucky's rushing. Kentucky rushed the ball 46 carries for 3 yards a carry, 137 yards. The question really comes down to, if you hold Georgia, if you think you can stop Georgia on the ground, that's okay. Georgia has shown throughout the year they're perfectly fine with telling Gunnar Stockton and go throw the ball for 250 yards. That's not a big deal. If we go back and we look at I'm going to say the Tennessee game, the Alabama game, the Kentucky game, we'll do all of them. Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, Mississippi State. And I'll go through them tab by tab. Let's go box. I don't need that one twice. All right. So, box score in Tennessee game. Georgia rushed 198 yards, 3.6 yards a carry. When we played Alabama, Georgia ran the ball 33 times, 7 yards a carry. We played Kentucky. We ran the ball 44 times, 4.1 yards a carry. When we played Auburn, 31 times, 2.5 yards a carry. Ole Miss, 49 times, 4.5 yards a carry. When we played Florida, 39 times, 3.5 yards a carry. Mississippi State, 44, 6.9 yards a carry. So what am I getting at? So what's the point, Big Dog? Well, here's the point. It doesn't really seem to matter whether or not you hold Georgia to 3 yards a carry, or if you hold Georgia or you don't hold Georgia and they get 7-8 yards a carry. Georgia's still going to score points. They're still going to go down the field. And you have to compare it to the teams that we've already played. There's not a good example of anything to, I would say, be afraid of. Now, the number one offensive team in the country is, anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to take a guess? I think you know who it is. The number one passing offense in the country, San Jose State. Tennessee's number 2. Tennessee's number 2. Ole Miss is number 7. Alabama's number 3. And Georgia has beat 2 of those teams and should have beat the other one. Now, in the top 50, Texas is ranked 49th in passing offense. If we look at passing defense, where's it at? No. Well, where's it at? I've lost it. We'll just do scoring defense. Texas is number 11 scoring defense in the country. Georgia's 23rd. Now, to tell you how that works, Texas has allowed 148 points. Georgia has allowed 178. So there's a difference there, but not a huge one. You're talking a difference of, you would say, 4 points a game on average. It's not a lot. Where's it at? Passing yards allowed. Georgia nor Texas is on this list. Let me go back to where's it at? Let's see. First down defense. I can tell you it ain't Georgia. Georgia ain't third down defense. Georgia's ranked 26th in the country in first down defense. Texas is ranked 28th. So pretty close there. If we go down and we look at first down offense, though, here's the difference. Georgia's ranked number 10th in the country. You might not have known that. Indiana's ranked number 1. By the way, Indiana does have the number 1 offense in the country. Georgia's ranked number 10. Guess what? Texas isn't even in the top 50 on first down offense. If you stall against Georgia, it's going to be bad for you. It just is. Indiana. It is a toss-up between Indiana and Ohio State, depending on which one you're looking at. Yo, what's up, Keith to the car? He is out there in the beautiful Boulder, Colorado skyline, enjoying some dry air. Can Texas make Georgia have to pass? UGA ranked like 72 in pass offense. They may be ranked 72 in pass offense, but when you got a guy who's in a lot of people's Heisman list, I didn't say he was in mine. When you got a guy who's in a lot of people's Heisman list, you got to go, got to be careful. Got to be careful. Here's the crazy stat. Go look this up. If you cross the 40-yard line, right? You cross the 40-yard line, going towards the end zone. Which team, once they break the 40-yard line, has the number 1 offense in the country? I'll clue you in. It's the Mean Machine in red and black. University of Georgia has the number 1 offense in the country once they pass the 40-yard line. That ought to scare the life out of you. If you are a team and you won, especially a team that's hard to kill, you really got to pay attention. By the way, you were talking about Georgia's ranked 72 in pass offense. I want you to tell me where you think Georgia ranks in completion percentage. Georgia is number 16 in the country in completion percentage. Texas, not even in the top 50. Let's see here. Oh, here's a category that I'm sure Texas can beat Georgia at. Let's see. Of all the teams in the country, let's change. We're going to change stats. Of all the teams in the country, which teams do you think have thrown the least amount of interceptions? Georgia's ranked number 10th in the country and had passes intercepted. And by the way, that number is only 4. I think Arch Manning has nearly thrown 4 in one game. Red zone defense, Georgia's number 17 in the country. Texas is number 28. Where's it at? Rushing defense, Texas is number 2. Georgia's number 12. Yards per rush for Texas, 2.4. Yards for Georgia, 3.1. Less than a yard of difference allowed. So all things being equal, you'd have to ask yourself, which team has the better rushing defense? They're pretty comparable. But you also have to base it on who you've played. If we look at rushing offense, Georgia's ranked number 24 in the country. And some of these teams on here, they play a super weak schedule. That's why their rushing offense is so good, like Rice. You know, they're ahead of Georgia. Texas is not even in the top 50 on rushing offense. So if both teams are kind of equal on rushing defense, you got to ask which one's better at running the ball. So far we found Georgia's better at passing the ball and Georgia's better at running the ball. And both teams are pretty equal in rushing defense. Georgia's better at not throwing the ball. What about passing offense? Did I look at this one already? I think I may have. Texas is 49. Yeah. Let's see here. Red zone offense. Let's see here. Nope, Texas ain't on that one either. Let's look at fewest penalties per game. Which team plays cleaner? Georgia at 28. Texas not in the top 50. Let's see. Let's look at first downs. Isn't that a category we can look at? Yeah. No, it's first down offense. Passing yards allowed. I think that might be a good one. Let's see what we got. Nope. Neither one's on this list. Total offense. Tennessee's number 1 in the nation. But here's the wild thing. Florida State, number 3 in total offense. That is crazy. Georgia's 31. Texas is not on the list. And what a wild time. Texas run a lot of their passes behind the line of scrimmage. UGA will be ready for that. Not sure Manny can press down the field against UGA. I agree. Here's the interesting thing that we saw last week. Whose defense causes more turnovers? I don't know. Let's check. This game is going to come down to matchups. UGA matches up well against Texas. I would say that's accurate. Let's look at let's see, where's the turnover button? Turnovers gained. Turnovers gained. Texas is 35th, 6th, 7th, 8th in the country. And Georgia's not on the list. They have a turnover gain of 15. Let's see. But if your game plan is to try and beat Georgia based on we got to get a turnover, that's a rough one. Turnover margin. Neither team's on the turnover margin list. Third down conversion. Georgia's 19th in the country, directly behind Alabama. And Texas not on the list. According to this, Georgia converts on third down 48% of the time. Dang. That's rough. That means Georgia's pretty much going to get a first down at least every other third down. That's tough to watch. Yeah, they get more turnovers, but, I mean, look at who you're playing. I mean, you look at Georgia's schedule, and you look at their schedule, San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. I mean, they've already played 3 of their cupcakes. We haven't played our last one. So If you give Georgia an opportunity to knock a ball out, they will. If you are a Texas fan, the one thing you really should be looking at is what is Georgia's weakness? And you would want to say, well, I would probably say that Georgia's weakness is somewhere in the category of they can't get after the quarterback. They're terrible. If you watch that Mississippi State game, you can clearly tell Georgia has been doing all they can to figure out how to get after the quarterback. And they did a pretty good job in that game. What is going on with this thing, dude? This is like the third time tonight to try to do this. I keep having to readjust it. It's very frustrating. There we go. Maybe that fixed it for a while. Texas haven't had to play Bama, LSU, or Ole Miss. There's some truth in that statement as well. When you're really coming down to it and you look at it, I think you have to look at Georgia's game plan and how Georgia plays, and you look at how Texas plays. Texas plays they're playing with a quarterback who's got a 62% completion percentage. Granted, he has improved here recently, but throwing 62% against Georgia, with the Georgia run defense as good as it is not going to win you that game, especially playing at Athens at night. Now you can say, oh, Alabama beat Georgia. Alabama's the only damn team that can beat Georgia. I don't know why. It doesn't matter how bad they are, how good we are. It doesn't matter. They're going to beat us. That's just the way that is. So you can take all that stuff and throw it out the window because everybody else will tell you they'll beat the hell out of you in Athens. It's just the way it goes. And by the way, throw that ball anywhere around Ellis Robinson the fourth if you like. If you don't know who that guy is, throw a ball around him and you'll be introduced to him. He'll be the one on the sideline wearing the Savage pads after you try that shit. Roll Tide. He said, good evening. How are you tonight? Good points regarding Georgia-Texas game. I appreciate that, sir. Keith says, is Georgia better than they were last year? How about Texas? I think at the quarterback position, Georgia's definitely better. I also think that Georgia has an opportunity here to really solidify itself as a major nail in Arch Manning's coffin. Now, Arch Manning has got an opportunity here to come out and really play well. And no, Sark cannot get a big win. Listen to me, Texas fans. Listen. Take my glasses off. Listen. You're not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Steve Sarkisian is Mark Richt reincarnated. Roughly the same haircut, roughly the same demeanor, and roughly the same results. If you're a Texas fan, go look up Mark Richt and go look up why Georgia fans wanted to get rid of Mark Richt, and you'll understand. Georgia is definitely a better team than Texas. A lot of people would agree with you, sir. This Georgia team got a big upgrade by being able to allow the interception machine to go to Miami. You heard of the Miami sound machine? He's the Miami interception machine. Absolutely terrible. What's up, Brockalock? Good to see you here, sir. I think this offense is better than the defense is coming on its own just at the right time. I don't disagree. I think that it took a Heisman caliber quarterback in Ty Simpson. That guy is incredible to be able to pull off a win against Georgia, and he really shouldn't have. I mean, any Alabama fan that wants to argue whether or not Georgia should have won that game, I had Alabama fans leaving that game at the stadium saying, y'all should have beat us. If y'all had kicked us field goals, we'd have lost that game. Y'all didn't beat us. Or we didn't, y'all didn't beat us. We beat us. Like, if y'all had just kicked it, y'all have had it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do that. Definitely do that. By the way, uh, fire uh, fire Glenn Schumann and hire Steve Sarkisian, but get a different defensive coordinator. Get Will Muschamp. Will, listen, Will. I know you like watching your son play football, and that's all well and good, but I mean, he ain't playing for nobody, really. We love you now. We love your son. We do. But he ain't playing at Georgia. Now, I respect you wanting to go watch your son. I like watching my son play football. Hey, I get it. But it's time to come on home. We've been chasing clouds long enough. Come on home, sir. We need you. Ty's third game starting, and we played Georgia. Yeah, he did a great job, man. He did a great job. That Georgia game versus Alabama, man, he had an incredible night. He threw 24 for 38, and he seemed like he completed, I want to say it was the first 13 third downs, he completed them. Absolutely phenomenal. 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. I mean, now I'm just going to tell you, that man was handing the ball out to everybody. There was 3 players with 5 receptions. He did a great job. Yeah, he would do well in the NFL. I think he does, Trip. I think he does. Roll Tide wrote a book. My thoughts: Georgia has a more consistent quarterback, comma, better running game, comma, and better playmakers at receiver. Period. Branch has been great lately. I think Texas lacks playmakers at receiver and a shaky running game. I got you. Sorry, you gotta speak Alabama-nese to break it down sometimes. I'm just kidding. Looking at what we saw, looking at what we've seen so far throughout the season, this is a Georgia team that should win this game by 10 points or more. Like, this should be realistically should be like a 31-17 or 34-17. This should be a double up game. I think that Arch Manning still lays down his head at night, and all he can hear are dogs barking at him because of how bad Georgia whopped them last time. You got to remember, Texas was winning at halftime, not by enough, because I've told you before, I'll tell you it again. If you ain't winning by if you're only winning by 6 at halftime, you're in trouble. Georgia's been that way all season. I think we haven't had a game all season, I think, except maybe one where we had the lead, like we got the lead first. Like Mississippi State, I think, was the first game that we went into halftime winning. I could be wrong. Yeah, we were tied with Florida at halftime. I think we were losing. Were we losing to Ole Miss at halftime? Yeah, we were losing to Ole Miss at halftime. I think Auburn was tied at halftime, wasn't it? No, we were. We were losing at halftime for Auburn. What was it? Kentucky. We was winning against Kentucky. That's Kentucky. We were definitely losing to Alabama at half. At Alabama, it was 24-14 at half, which was crazy. We held them scoreless in the second half, couldn't catch up. Tennessee, we were down by 1 point at half. And Austin Peay and Marshall, those don't count. But SEC play, man, it's bad. Yeah, Wingo's good to go. Yeah. I feel good about Georgia covering. I don't say that very often. If we up by 10 in the fourth, it'll be a death march time. Yeah. Well, Georgia does a fine job of that. It's crazy how you think about how well Georgia can perform in the second half. And it's like I've said before. It's like we wait. We don't prep. Like we don't prep during the week. Like we wait to see. We're just like, all right, let's see what they do. And then we get there and we're like, all right, here's the adjustments. All right, go roll on them, guys. I mean, it seems like every week. I have a lot more gray hair because of it, but we're winning, so I guess it's okay. If you're up on Georgia, you better keep scoring because they don't quit. They don't. This team will not quit, and that's a great thing to know about your team. It's not a great thing to have had to learn about your team, but every one of these teams, like you look around and it's just like body blow, body blow, body blow, body blow, and they just don't stop. Gunnar Stockton does not stop. You look at the stats for this young man, he's over 2,000 yards, completion percentage near 70%. It's 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's doing a great job. He is doing a great job. And then over here at Arch Manning, man, you want to talk about the picture of inconsistency. This guy, and I'm not trying to rag on the kid. Plenty of people have figured out what I told them beforehand, that he's just not good. Like, he's just not. This kid is supposed to be the most highest rated quarterback of all time. He's got 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Been sacked 18 times. Gunnar Stockton's been sacked 10. So for those trying to call me out for not calling it, there it is. So he's thrown 3 times as many interceptions and been sacked almost twice as much. I got a lot of faith in this Georgia offensive line. I think we'll do fine. Something's got to give. Texas defense averaged 2.4 yards a play. I don't feel like that 2.4 yards against Georgia is going to be enough to stop them. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that watching Mike Bobo last week, he was in his bag. Like, you could tell that even though we didn't have a week to prepare for Texas, like an off week, like Texas had for Georgia, he was trying stuff out on the field, like stuff we hadn't seen all year. And I'm just like, man, this guy just doesn't run the same stuff. A lot of Georgia fans were hating on Bobo earlier, and I was like, you guys need to pump your brakes because you're all wrong. And then sure enough, here we go. Doing great. So, yeah. Gunnar and the boys going to take the fight to him Saturday night under the lights. Yes. So let's go over some of Georgia's key players, right? So Nate Frazier, for those of you who don't know, he ran for 181 yards last week. Okay. That's a lot. If you don't know who Chauncey Bowens is, he's going to cause you some headaches, because normally you would say, well, you know, Georgia's got a 2-headed monster and a statue for a quarterback. DeAndre Swift, Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, like all those guys were kind of 2-headed monsters. They all rotated through together. Georgia has a hydra right now. They've got Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, Dwight Phillips Jr., Josh McCray, Bo Walker, and, oh, by the way, the third leading rusher on the team is Gunnar Stockton. Arch Manning is the second leading rusher on their team, and he averages 2.9 yards a carry. Gunnar Stockton averages 4.2. Gunnar Stockton has almost 500 yards in rushing. Arch Manning barely has over 200. They've run the ball with Arch Manning 69 times. They've ran the ball with Gunnar Stockton 86 times. That's a big, big difference in yardage and not a big, big difference in carries. So do with that what you will. Oh, no, I lied. Let me back up, fix myself. Gunnar Stockton's run 77 times for 321 yards. So he's run the ball 8 more times, and he has 120 more yards. My mistake. That's better. Let me correct myself. Texas don't have much of a game, run game. You can eliminate the run part of there, and you're pretty much on point. Sorry, Texas fans. I know I'm getting after you. Let's see. Nate and Noah had that breakout game we finally been waiting on. Man, you ain't lying. Wingo is back, but I don't know how much of a factor that's going to play. I don't know how rusty he's going to be, but they've got 4 primary receivers that they use. And that's Wingo, DeAndre Moore Jr., and Livingstone. And every now and then they'll throw it to Mosley. Now, they do like to throw to their tight end, Jack Andres, once or twice a game. And they do throw check down passes to Wisner. But, yeah. And by the way, they got old Ryan Niblett. Man, I just love saying that guy's name, Niblett. I think he's got an interception for a return touchdown, or I don't know if it might have been a punt for a return for a touchdown. But, man, that guy's fun to watch play. Georgia. Georgia's got like 5 people that's got like 200 yards rushing or 200 yards receiving. Got Zachariah Branch, who, I mean, this guy's incredible. Colby Young's out for the season, so we can't really talk about him. London Humphreys, Dylan Bell, Oscar Delp, Noah Thomas. Lawson Lucky is out, but we expect him to be back. Georgia throws a lot to their running backs. Georgia got a lot of players out there that can catch. It's not like last year where every time we throw the ball to number 11, he drop it. So Georgia's offense is looking good. Georgia's defense is looking much better. I don't know how many sacks we had against. I think it was either 2 or 3 sacks on paper, but we had several tackles for loss in that game. Branch is so dangerous. It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't really remember a time where Georgia had better wide receivers on the field across the board than what we have right now. So there's that. But, of course, got to give you guys a score prediction. I'd love to see you guys' thoughts over in the comment section. Leave a comment down below. If it's your first time here and you've made it this far, if you just jumped on, hit the subscribe button because you'll probably never see me again if you don't. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. But hit the subscribe button anyway. Make your decision later. You can hit the thumbs up button. There's what's that other button? Oh, yeah. Then you can hit the bell. That's it. Was there another one? Oh, you can leave a comment. Yeah, that's right. And join. You can become a member. Oh, and there's also super chats and super stickers. So just push everything. That'll help. So Zephyroth says 35-15 Dogs. I don't really see anything wrong with that assessment. 34-17 sounds like a winner. That does sound like a winner. 30-24 Horns. Okay. So Georgia is not going to be able to cover. Georgia's not even going to be able to win. Georgia's actually going to lose by 6 points. Yeah. This is the only proper prediction so far. Dogs by 50. Of course, with Georgia Channel here, we love Georgia Bulldogs. We love to talk Georgia football. If you like talking Georgia football, and I am the one and only Georgia fan that does 100% free live reactions during the game. You can watch me. Now, nothing wrong with anybody else that, they got their own channel and they do what they want to. But I'm the only one that you can hang out with for free every Saturday, unless I'm at the game. 34-20 Dogs. I was close to that. I was really close to that. I was thinking that was about right because that was 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. I feel like they can get in a red zone 4 times. I think that's about right. This is also an accurate assessment. If Georgia goes out and Georgia wins this game, you're going to see, first off, you got Charlotte for a tune-up, right, the following week, and then the week after that, we play the Nerds. Now, the Yellow Jackets, unfortunately, have lost a game, but they've looked pretty good most of the time until they somehow took a loss to NC State. They may or may not take a loss to Pitt. But I want them to win all these games until they get to Georgia. Actually, I take that back. I am so sorry. I lied. I want them to lose one more. And here's why. Because they're not going to I don't think they're going to the playoffs. I really don't. Granted, the ACC's a mess, whatever. But here's what I want to happen. I want them to lose to Pitt, right? And then that's 2 losses. And then Georgia shows up and absolutely crushes them and prevents them from a 10-win season. Let me see. The last time they won 10 games in a season was 2014, and they finished 11-3. They won the Orange Bowl. But yeah, I would like that. That would be good for me. You guys are worried. What are you guys worried for? You guys should absolutely trounce them. Shouldn't even be a question, man. 27-20 Georgia. Got to go with Kirby. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. What we talking about, old son? You know, looking at everything that we've seen so far out of Georgia, I would say Georgia has consistently been hard to kill no matter where they're at. Oh, and there was something else I wanted to talk about real quick. Let me go back. So, when you're looking at the Georgia-Texas game, one of the things you have to take into consideration is the way they have played. They lost at Ohio State. They lost at Florida. They nearly lost at Kentucky. They nearly lost at Mississippi State. And guess what all those have in common? Every one of them is a road game. Every one of them is a road game. Haynes King is an absolute baller. Love that guy. But one player is not enough to beat Georgia. Yeah, Georgia. Woo. I have never, ever, even in the most egregious of calls, it is pronounced egregious, seen Georgia fans throw trash on the field, throw mustard bottles, throw water bottles, or golf balls. Never seen anybody at Georgia do that ever. So I can assure you, if Texas fans throw stuff on the field at a Georgia game, they will be introduced to the Georgia State Patrol, and those guys are so nice. They're so friendly. Just go check those guys out. They're just, yeah, you'll love those guys. I think we could get an Alabama versus UGA national championship or at least Final Four. That's certainly a possibility. We're going to do some playoff predictors here next week. Life's been crazy busy. Lots of things going on. So pretty much everybody is putting Texas around that 20-24 marker, you know, and I think that's fair. I don't foresee them breaking 30. Now, the question I have for you is, do you see Georgia breaking 30? Yeah, you can see Georgia break 30. Anybody that's watched Georgia play could look at this game and go, yeah, I could see Georgia breaking 30. Oh, by the way, Georgia's offense, it seems like every other game we score 40 points. It's like 45 at Marshall, Austin Peay 28, 44 at Tennessee, 21 Bama, 35 Kentucky, almost 40. 20 against Auburn, 43 Ole Miss, 24 Florida, 41 Mississippi State. And so, does Georgia score 24 points in this game and win? Maybe. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Georgia's offense is improving. I think Georgia's going to be just fine in this game. What's up, traveling fools? You guys should go check out his channel, man. He's got some really cool stuff over there. This guy is awesome. Go check him out. Cool dude. Could be 41-17 if we get real loose. Could be. It's going to be Athens at night. If you're going to that game at night, I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of drunk people and a lot of drunk people doing drunk people stuff. Just be prepared for that. Just be prepared for that. Night games in Athens, man. They really shouldn't sell alcohol. It's rough. I watched one guy when I went to the Alabama game. I watched one guy. He wasn't in cuffs, but they was walking him like out of the stadium. They were just going to walk him downstairs and just be like, get out. And while he's walking down the stairs, he decided, one of them was a GBI and one was a GSP, Georgia State Patrol. He decided at that time, that's a good time to fight. And the first one he hit was the GBI female cop. Oh, it did not go well for him. Well, anyway, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Just over an hour. I really appreciate all you guys jumping on. Hit like, subscribe, and share. It's going to be a great Saturday. Maybe we'll even do breakfast on the Blackstone. We'll see. See you guys real soon. Hey, enjoy that dry weather out there, Keith. Appreciate all you guys. My score prediction for the game, 31-17. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.